Hi, everybody, and welcome to Cope with Hope. Today, I'm going to be talking to Suchitra Pillai, my very, very dear Suchitra Pillai, who has done so much work. And were you working through the lockdown for Betal, or was that before?
No, that was before, but I did a lot of my press stuff and PR and everything had to be done. Oops, sorry, I just dropped my phone. Yeah, we had to do all of that online. Um,
Okay.
but no, working other than that has just been, things like this and doing some dubbing stuff. Yes, that I've done
Okay.
from home.
Lovely.
But
Okay.
otherwise it's just been sitting around waiting for things to happen.
Okay. So tell me firstly, how did your journey begin? I know you did your first web
Oh,
series in France, and then we'll talk
Oh no,
about.
it was a movie. Yeah, it was a film actually, not a web series. It was a film which I shot in France when I was about 20. Well, it was for French television, but I
Yes.
lived in England at the time, and that was the first audition I was going for to be the lead in this French movie. And
Yes.
uh, the casting director Jennifer Jaffrey, she said, "Oh, how much training have you had?" And I was like, "Oh, none." And I said, "This is my first audition." And she was like, "Okay, fine. This is to play the lead in this movie." And then there was a lot training in RADA and SHADA and all of this, and they were all there before me. And the funny thing is, in 10 minutes, she gave us the script and she said, in 10 minutes, you're coming in to read. I went in, and the girl before me, who though she was trained, etc., I overheard her saying, 10 minutes was not enough time for us to get into the character, etc., blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I went in there, and with absolutely no background or
Training.
whatever, I told her, yeah. So she said, okay, let's sit down and let's read the scene. I said, no, actually, I'd like to act out the scene for you. She was like, okay. And she said, yeah, fine, you can act it out there and, use your papers. And I said, no, I don't want to use the papers. I've memorized what I could.
Wow.
And I'll do the rest, on the fly. Um, and they were two very emotional scenes, and I had to break down and cry and everything. And I was actually broken down and I was crying at the end of it. And I was, at her
Wow.
feet crying, looking up at her. And then she caught me like this. I'll never forget. She caught me like this and she put me next to her on the sofa and she said, Suchitra, now tell me the truth. How many years have you been acting? And I said, this is my first audition. And she said, you do realize this is what you need to be doing. And that's how it all began.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So yeah, so it's fated. It's fated. Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. That's what everyone
Yes.
says. So
Yes.
so I was, yeah, so no regrets. That's how it started, and that's how it just continued, one thing after another, Nandini. And I did theater. I did another couple of films over there. Then I came back to India, and
Yes.
then I was, of course, jack of all trades, VJ, RJ, compère,
Yes.
actress, TV, film,
Singer.
everything started happening all to singer, all of it started happening together. My thing is just there's one life, so you might as well live it to the
Yes.
fullest. And if you're lucky enough to have a God-given talent and you're lucky enough to get the right opportunities at the right time, who are we to say no? Just be grateful
Absolutely.
for it and just go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about Betal. When is Betal releasing?
So Betal is released in June. It already released. It's
Okay.
on Netflix. It's still doing really well, and it's actually all over the world. 190 countries. They've released it worldwide, and yeah, people have not seen me in that kind of an avatar in the 26 years of my career. Frankly speaking, Nandini, they yeah, people have turned around and said, "Man, we didn't think you could be so scary." Because it's it's a horror genre web series, right? Horror, zombie
Yes.
horror. And but the good thing about it is Red Chillies produced it, so they have spared no expense when it comes to the way the series looks and
Yes.
how much they spent on the post production and the graphics, etc. And it's fantastic. It's turned out really good, and I'm really the my role is something that I've not had the opportunity of doing for the 26 years that I've been in the business, Nandini. So which is why it was really interesting for me.
Yes.
I play this commandant in with of this task force, and
Okay.
I have a whole squad who is under me, and I'm commanding them, and I've never played that before. So just to get all of that the whole thing, the stance and the way you command somebody. I mean, I may not be big in stature,
Yeah.
height
But
wise, but
but the
to be
aura.
convincing enough, the
Yes.
aura to be convincing enough for that. I was I was wondering whether I'd be able to do it, you know. And but what was very helpful was the fact that they had all of these training courses for us. We had to go every morning at 7 a.m. To Shah Rukh's office and go to the terrace, and in the heat we would be in our full gear, wearing
Oh,
you know, the costume, yeah, and wearing the gear, all the bulletproof vests, this, that, everything, carrying the guns, doing the drills and stuff,
yeah,
just so that we, you know, just so that we were got used to being comfortable, you know, in that, because
yes,
the entire series we're wearing that and nothing else, you know, and
yes.
running around, and it's all outdoor. And so that was helpful. And I, of course, was trying to get out of it by telling our trainer, but you know, I'm the commandant, मुझे तो ऐसा नहीं दौड़ना है यार इधर उधर लाइन में खड़ी रहो सुचित्रा, लाइन में खड़ी रहो और करो सबके साथ साथ. Like, oh no, Yakub bhai. Okay, I had no choice. I had to do it. I tried, but I had no
Yeah,
choice. Nevertheless,
I,
it turned out really good, and we were really,
yeah,
you know, I'm happy that I actually was part of that training and stuff.
yeah.
But the other thing about Betal for me is the other side of it. When people who have seen it will know that I become possessed per se, and
Oh my
you'll
God.
see, yeah, you'll see me, and it's very eerie. I don't have to wear zombie makeup or anything like that. But yeah, people have said just by the way you looked at us, you scared
Oh
the hell
God.
daylights out of us. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, you better see it.
So it's a zombie horror film.
It's a zombie horror 4-part series. Yes,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's a
Four-part
series.
series. Wow. And the
That's
first
right.
time you're
That's
playing
right.
this.
Yeah, first time I'm doing this. I mean, horror I've done before. I did another Hollywood film, The Other Side of the Door, for 20th Century Fox, with
Yes.
Sarah Wayne Callies, the actress from Prison Break, Walking Dead. Um, and that I played a 65-year-old housekeeper, but I was not so much part of the horror angle of it. Here I am, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been very, very interesting. That happened, and then I just had recently Kehne Ko Hum Safar Hai season 3, completely different persona. Sheena, I played this character Sheena. So season 3 was just released on Alt Balaji and Z5. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a busy kind of a lockdown, but you know,
Yes.
this way, yeah, just having releases and then doing press
Yes.
conferences online, etc.
Yes.
So that's been new and unprecedented, frankly. So it's been interesting that way.
Yes. And what else have you been doing the past 100 odd days?
Oh, I've been doing diamond paintings. That's something that really keeps me calm. It's my sort of meditation. Diamond
Yes.
paintings are, it's this thing you can order online. It's a sticky sheet that comes with a painting on it. Okay.
Okay.
And that's broken down into small numbers and different codes. And they send you these little diamonds of the different codes. You know, you get all of
Yes.
these. And as in, like, one painting I did was 9,700 pieces of
Oh my
diamonds that you stick
God.
on with your hand. You stick with your hand, each tiny little one.
Wow.
So it's real concentration. You forget about everything else. I sit for hours doing that. So that was
Yeah.
one thing that I was doing in the lockdown. Cooking, which I love doing, which was I was not getting a chance because of shoots, etc. I've been cooking a lot. I think my daughter now has taken over. She just baked cinnamon rolls the other day. So yeah, so she seems
Wow.
excited about cooking. She's 12, and it turned out really good.
Yeah. Please
So
send us
cooking
the
I've been doing.
recipe.
Yeah,
Please
I'll
send
send
us
you the
the
recipe.
recipe. Yeah.
I will send you the recipe because this is a fan of mine actually gave me the recipe. He's a chef, and it turned out really,
Wow.
really good. So I will.
Yeah.
And yeah, so cooking, and then doing stuff in the house, Nandini, which frankly you sometimes just put in the back of your head because one is working so much and one is out of the house so much,
Yes.
and there's a lot of little things that I'd really forgotten about, which need to be done on a day-to-day basis in the house,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
Laz, my husband, handles that, and the maid, she handles that when I'm not around. So just to get to see all of that firsthand was,
Yes.
kind of an experience for me because I've not I've not been doing that for a while, since I've
Yes.
been
Yes.
working last year.
Yes.
So that's been interesting, and of course, spending time with the family, which is another thing one was not getting to do. At least
Yes.
I got to do a hell of a lot of that now.
Yes. Lovely. And so, what have you
Yeah.
been cooking besides cinnamon rolls?
No, I cook lots of Indian food, okay? And then
Okay.
thanks to chef friends like Maria Goretti and Vicky Ratnani and Himmat, who is the guy who gave me the rolls recipe, Himmat Rana. so Himmat Ranjit, sorry. So I've been taking their recipes also, and then I've been adding my little bits to it. Like this time, I tried Thai chicken curry, which I've never made before. Okay, and that I did entirely on my own, just by seeing
Wow.
Thai mix in the vegetable market. Where they have all the Thai spices
Yes.
together in a box. I said,
Yeah.
come on, I got
Yeah.
to do something with this because I love Thai food and I never cooked it. So I brought it
Yes.
home, and I just decided to put it all together, and I just called another friend, and she said, okay, do this and add that, and it turned out to be really, really good.
Yum.
So I've been making a lot of food like that. Yes, a lot of
Yes.
non-vegetarian food. Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. And then what else have you been doing? Cooking,
Other than that,
diamond painting.
yeah, singing. I did a few live things. Me and my daughter did a few live things, but I want to do a little bit more of that since this lockdown is never ending. I think me and her will get back to doing that because people seem to enjoy it, and
Oh,
people didn't really
lovely.
know too much about my singing.
Yes.
So yeah,
I'd love
Thai
it
curry.
if you
Who's that?
guys would
Radhika.
sing.
Yes, Radhika, my friends online. Yes, Radhika, believe it or not, I made the Thai curry. I'll make it for you when I come to your place.
Somebody
Yeah.
saying Hip Hip Hooray was their favorite.
Coincidentally, I was just watching Hip Hip Hooray on YouTube just now
Wow.
before we started chatting because somebody just sent me one episode. And thank you so much for saying that. Way back in 1998, that seems like another lifetime altogether, frankly. Uh, but yes, it was a show that was, way ahead of its years, frankly. Um, but all of the topics that were covered, about these 12 standard students uh, were were so prevalent, are so prevalent even today, and they're so important. Which is why I'm telling my 12-year-old, if there's one series I want you to watch, it's Sipipure, though it's so old,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and you'll see mom as a young person in my youth.
Hello, you're very young. Okay, please. So tell me
What very young?
something. Will
Yeah.
you and your daughter sing for me? Will you do a
Oh,
session
she's.
where you sing? Not
I
today,
will do
maybe
that.
another
Yeah,
day.
not today. Yes, yes. Oh,
We'll
we'd
work
love to.
out. I would
We'd
love
love to.
that. I would love that.
Yes.
You tell me the day. We'll work out a day and a time and any songs that you love because I love that. And my
Oh, for
people will love
sure,
that.
for sure. Absolutely, absolutely. We'd be more than happy to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
I'd love to have
that's
you.
definitely,
Okay, so
definitely.
tell us about Hip Hip Hooray, some more about Hip Hip Hooray.
Hippie Pure was so when I first came back from England, that was kind of one of the first things that I did. I came back in 1997, and other than starting off with Dance Like a Man, the play,
Yes.
Lilette Dubé had kind of seen me as soon as I came back, and I started that play in '97. And Hippie Pure was one of the first things that I did, and I was playing this physics professor, Alaknanda ma'am. And what they really liked about this professor, she's a very modern woman. She was somebody who decided to have a baby out of wedlock. Was refused to cower down to societal pressure, etc. So that's why I say, it's a series that was way beyond its years, way back in '98, to have all of that then. Um, have Anika sing. Yes,
Yes, she's
yes,
going
we
to
will
sing.
get
She's going to sing.
Yeah, she's got a beautiful voice, no doubt. So, um, yeah, so did that and did a lot of other shows at that time when TV serials were another ball game altogether. There was no web
Yes.
series and there was no, it
Yeah.
was the traditional shooting of a TV show, and it worked very, very differently then compared to now. But I'm
Yes.
so glad to have been part of the entire journey, Nandini, from
Yes.
then way back when it started, and from then there to become a VJ to, so that whole modern thing coming in, with VJs and music channels, etc.
Yes.
And then doing theater alongside that, and then movies like Dil Chahta Hai coming. So it was all kind of interwoven
Yeah.
without any planning. You know, One thing
Yes.
just led to another, and things just started happening. And I didn't complain. I just continued doing one thing after another, and
Yeah.
engineering took a back seat completely.
But
And I
you've got
got
an
my degree, and
amazing body of work. You've got an amazing body of work.
it's
Okay,
been, yeah,
sorry.
I've been lucky.
Yeah, well, you're also very talented. But so you did your engineering? I,
Electronics engineering from Bombay. Here, yes, electronics engineering, 4 years, and I think that's the South Indian in me.
Mm,
Because in
yes,
junior college, hi Nisha, I just saw Nisha Harale has
yes.
joined in. Um, I joined engineering because in the 11th and 12th I had taken electronics. I didn't have to do biology and I didn't have to do Hindi. And by the end of those 2 years, you're kind of brainwashed into thinking, "Arey marks mil gaya to chalo engineering kar lete hain," which is what
Uh-huh.
happened. I got very good
Yeah,
marks and I got into an engineering college. We were the first batch of girls in that particular engineering college, Father Agnells in Bandstand in
yeah.
electronics. They had production engineering before that. And yeah, I just did 4 years of engineering. Huh? I don't remember a thing. I don't remember anything of it. Yeah. But where it comes into the picture, I don't know if I was on a set and I had to change a light bulb or something, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
Where electronics fits into that, I don't know. But I used to open up my video cassette tape recorder and all when
Uh,
things used to get stuck and all. My parents that time used to say, at least something somewhere it's coming into.
yeah.
It's helping in some way.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah, life had other plans, I think, for me, which is why
yeah.
at the end of engineering, I got married. That was my first marriage when I moved to England. And I was
Yeah.
married. That's how I was in England. And I was there for 7 years. And
Okay.
Akshay, that movie was again an awesome one. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dil Chahta Hai, I think
Fashion
you're talking about.
and
Oh,
fashion. Talking
fashion.
about
Thank you.
fashion.
Fashion.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, I've managed to get some good roles, and life would have been different if I had chosen to be, a lead actress. I mean, I was offered Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar way back then, but I was doing engineering at the time, and I would have had to give up my studies for a while, which
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't do. So I didn't
Yeah.
do that then. And but yes, I no complaints. I mean, in this 26-year career, I have worked with some incredible directors. I've got some very good roles, which have been defined well, no matter big or
Yes.
small.
Yes.
They've really been defined well, and uh, people have remembered the kind of stuff that
Yes.
I've done, which
Yes.
is great. So it doesn't
Yes.
matter for me, frankly. It really doesn't matter whether you're number one on the cast or number five on the cast, as long as you do your bit and
Yes.
you do justice to the role that's given to you.
Absolutely. So, what would you say is your mantra for life? What is your mantra for living?
My mantra for life, I would just say, is you've got one life, live it to the fullest.
Yes.
Reach for the stars because there won't be any fences to stop you. Uh,
Mm,
and uh, and live and let live. That's my biggest mantra. Uh, it helps people be non-judgmental if you just,
yes.
if you follow that. Say Manasi
Yes.
Scott, she's watching. Uh, yeah, it helps you, become non-judgmental. You just live your life, let other people live their lives. And
Yes.
because who are you to sit on some high horse trying to show, this is right and this is wrong, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that way. It's each person's journey, it's each person's karma, it's what they need to go through, it's what they need to experience, what they need to learn from their experiences and move ahead. So so my one big mantra is just live and let live, and go, yeah, and just do the best that you can, no matter what. Just do the best that you can. Believe in yourself.
That's lovely. And what does the word hope mean for you?
Hope for me means the fact that there is something to look forward to. Yeah, the next day. There's something to look forward to in the future. That's what hope means to me. It's what um, uh, it's what I think people need in their lives to keep their lives, interesting, and to keep their lives going. Because if you lose hope, uh, thank you very much, Manasi Scott. um, uh, because if you lose hope, you've lost everything, frankly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think. So for me, hope is definitely one bbig quality which I'd like to have bushels of, in my backpack,
Yes.
because I
Yes.
would like, I would like there to be, you hope that there is something better coming on the other side. You hope that this COVID is going to end. You hope that, just that one word
Yes.
just has so much added to it. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
if you have loads of it, I think you'll do okay. Yeah, hope is what moves mountains. They say faith moves mountains, but hope, I think, moves mountains too.
That's lovely. Do you want to say hi to everybody and check if there are
Hello, who
any?
all are there? Who all are here? Manasi, Radhika, Akshay, thank you, Nisha.
Sharvila came on. Beena,
Hey,
hi.
Shams, hello. Wow, Sheikh Amir Ahmad. Oh, from Dehradun.
Hi.
I was there. I was there recently. I love Dehradun.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, we were shooting a new
Okay.
show that I'm doing for Alt Balaji called
Uh,
Bebaki, which will be out in July. So we went to Shimla to shoot, and from there I went to Dehradun to meet some friends.
so
So yeah,
always
I was there
traveling.
recently.
So
I
before
love
we end,
traveling.
yeah,
Yes.
before we end, is there anything that you'd like to tell everybody?
Um, all I'd like to say is, I mean, in these times that we're going through, people sit there, thinking that they are, bigger than everybody else and they know better, etc., etc. Let this be your experience. Learn from this experience. Do what's best for you and your family,
Yes.
and I mean, don't be dictated to as far as, other people's opinions of, I think you should do that and I think you should do this. You know what's best for yourself and your family. Take care and
Yes.
this, this stay home, stay safe. I'm not going to say. I just said it, but I'm not going to say. Just those four words. Really, stay home, stay safe, stay home, stay safe. The same four words. So I'm not going to say it, though I just said
Don't
it.
say
Okay.
it.
No, but take care and just take the right precautions. And as Nandinii always believes, hope. We all have hope. We all know that on the other side of this, it's going to be fantastic. I don't believe, I refuse to get bogged down, Nandini. I
Yeah,
refuse to
I
believe that
agree.
this is the new normal. I am not believing that. I will continue to do what I've got to do, yes, as we have to live right now. But I refuse to believe that life is going to be like this. And that, I think, the book The Secret taught me. I'm not going to believe it, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, I'm telling the universe up there, you are
Yeah.
not going to make that happen. So it's not going to happen that way. It's going to be fine. And that's
Love
the
you,
hope we all live with.
Suchi. You're just a darling. So,
Love you
guys,
too.
yeah, I know. And thank you so much for coming on. And, guys, she's going to be back singing with her daughter very soon. We're going to work that out.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
Yes.
thank you so much.
Lots of love. Lots of love. Sorry about the
Lots of
technical
love.
snag before.
No, 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 no.
Bye.
And lots of love to
Bye.
everybody. Thank you for watching and big hugs and big kisses. Okay, there's a very serious
Oh,
question
there's a
that's
big,
come up.
very serious
Would you like to
question.
answer that?
Yeah, you might find it a bit irrelevant, but just wanted to know your take on nepotism in the industry with reference to the recent. Uh,
Would you like to talk about it? Or
well, no,
no?
no, it's not about not being comfortable about it. I just think I don't want to talk about it in terms of God bless his soul, Sushant's case. I just want to talk. It is prevalent. It is there. It is in your face. In very in many ways you can see it. But then there's people like us who have absolutely no uh, you know absolutely no backing in the industry, who have come and have made a name for ourselves or in any little way, whatever it is.
Yes,
You've done it. Yeah, but there are people who have done it without this whole nepotism thing in the background. We've managed to create a little niche for ourselves wherever. And I think it depends on each person. Yes, there may be favoritism. I mean, in the business industry, naturally a person would give the company to his son as opposed to somebody else. There's
yes.
that kind of thing in the other industries as well. But as far as our industry, yes, it may be a little bit more prevalent, but it is up to us, frankly speaking. If you believe in your talent and you believe in what you're capable of doing, I just think you just go out there and just show the world, man. Whether you're a star son, star daughter, I'm better. That way. That's all.
Yes, more power to you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Uchi.
Thank you.
Always a
Thank you.
pleasure. See
Same
you
here.
soon.
Take care.